I want to be able to, give back to my community. I want to be able to give my children something that I didn't necessarily have growing up. I'm just a super competitive individual. I don't care if it's Monopoly, if I'm playing Xbox, on the football field. I don't like to lose in nothing. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you're from Covington, just small town, God's country, USA, that you can still go out there and make a global impact. So I think that really means a lot to me.
Thanks for joining Around the Way with EJ. I am joined by who I call Mr. Do-It-All from Covington, none other than Tyler Dressler of the University of Richmond football team. Tyler, once again, appreciate your time this afternoon and being available for us.
Absolutely, Eric. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, indeed. I know I called you Mr. Do-It-All, and I only say that because you truly did do it all during your time at Covington. Football, baseball, basketball. Did I miss anything there? Did you do anything else too?
I think I wrestled a little bit on the side when they needed me, and I actually threw shot put a little bit. But yeah, I was fortunate I had the opportunity to do a lot at Covington.
Man, oh man. So yeah, you truly are Mr. Do-It-All. Take me back to those days of high school and your drive, your purpose, your motivation for being a multi-sport athlete.
I think that was something that was instilled in me as a young individual. I was always around sports. My dad, he actually played football at Virginia Tech. So, right away, as soon as I was able to walk, I think I had a football in my hand. My uncle was actually my basketball coach. My other uncle was the recreation director. So just having that opportunity to have all those sports available to me as a child. And I caught on with it. I loved what I did. I love sports. I think there's a lot of benefits of playing those sports, just in terms of person who you are. I think that stuff translates off the field as well. And just being able to do that throughout when I was a kid all the way through Covington High School.
Yes, indeed. Did you have that moment, that hard moment of like, okay, I might have to decide or stick to just one sport? Because I know for some athletes, that's kind of hard. They like to feed off of the energy from multiple.
Yeah, and I've talked to a lot of coaches at the college level, and most of them are not into sports specialization. A lot of them like when you play different sports. Track, for example, and football, those correlate extremely well with one another. Just being able to control your body, explosive speed, and a lot of that stuff. So having those different sports on your resume is actually a really good thing that college coaches like to see.
Absolutely. And there on the gridiron, looking at some of your old tape, it's clear you stood out for me. You were the biggest kid out there in most of those games. I call it bully ball. Just do whatever you could do. What were some of your experiences like on the gridiron there in Covington, and any fond memories you have that come to mind?
Covington is obviously a small school. We were single A, and so we weren't able to play the huge competition. And I knew that, and I actually had opportunities to go elsewhere, and I wanted to stay at Covington. That was my home. Those are my roots. Those are my family and friends are at. And I really liked the group of guys, especially my senior year coming back. I thought we had a really good chance to make a deep run in the playoffs. But kind of going back, my favorite memory, I was actually able to play football with my brother. He was 2 years ahead of me. So I played with him my freshman and sophomore year at Covington. And there's a lot, it was a huge opportunity for me because I followed his footsteps throughout this whole college process because he played at Concord. And just trying to navigate my way through the college experience, I used him a lot as my compass. But playing with my brother, it was funny. The last game we played was against Hayside. And there was actually a play where I got hit. Ended up going out the game. And the very next play, my brother found that individual and went after him, put him, pretty much drove him off the field. He ended up getting thrown out the game. It was a mess back then, but now looking back, it was really funny. And it's just a fun memory to talk about.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I imagine dinner may have been a little different that night at home.
Yeah, it was. So it's definitely a good memory.
My goodness. I was going to ask, your inspiration for continuing to have this drive and the motivation. You touched on it there. I imagine it came from your brother there. Is that right?
My brother was certainly a big part of it. My father, just having my family around me. Really, it's just that instinct. I'm just a super competitive individual. I don't care if it's Monopoly, if I'm playing Xbox on the football field. I don't like to lose in nothing. And I think that's just I got that inner why. What motivates me, what's my why. I want to be able to give back to my community. I want to be able to give my children something that I didn't necessarily have growing up. So just to be able to try to influence others and give back to those who helped me along this process, I think is really what drives me.
Man, that is awesome. Why was Richmond home for you? What made that? Because I remember going back to your signing day, we had saw when you actually committed at that time. Right. What made Richmond home that next step for you?
Yeah, so I was getting recruited by Richmond, I think throughout sophomore, junior year. It was nothing hard. It was very superficial. And once that signing day came around, I think it was on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know if you remember that or not. I was committed to VMI. That was my only Division I offer. And I was fully convinced I was going to be a cadet. It was a great school, VMI. A lot of good history there, good football program. But the linebacker coach from VMI actually went to Richmond. And he was my coach at Richmond for 5 years. Outstanding individual. Got a lot of respect and love for that guy. But once he left, he was at Richmond, and I think their linebacker that they had there ended up going to Appalachian State. So there was a scholarship available. It was a last minute decision. I think they offered me on that Sunday. They gave me a call up, and they threw it on the table. And there was 2 days left. I accepted it really quick. And it's just, I think it was the football history for one is what really got me. They had a history of going to playoffs, and then the academic prestige was another thing. I mean, a lot of people tell you once you get a degree from the University of Richmond, you can go anywhere you want. The career services there, the network, all that stuff is phenomenal. So I think a combination of those factors really pushed me towards Richmond.
That is awesome. And when you were there, you took advantage of your opportunity, 43 games, 25 starts. How was that transition? Because I know that transition to college at any level can be an adjustment period for anybody coming out of high school. How was that for you?
Absolutely. It was very difficult at first. I was an extremely raw individual, raw talent that needed a lot of molding. And I give a lot of credit to my coach, the one I was telling you that was formerly at VMI. His name's Coach Wood. He developed me into a linebacker day by day. It was a brick by brick process. It was extremely tough at first, just especially the level of the game. It picked up very quick. Just the speed, the strength, the size of the overall guys is a lot different from single A football to Division I football at the FCS level. So it took me about a year and a half to really translate. I was able to play special teams and stuff my freshman year. Just kind of got my foot in the door. But right there at the end of my sophomore year, it started to click. And I actually got my first start there, and it just kind of took off.
3-time first team all CAA. I mean, did you kind of realize like, oh, wow, I'm kind of coming to my own now and I can kind of be a force out here?
Yeah, I think that kind of occurred to me my junior year. It happens really quick. And that wasn't really even focused on the accolades. Like it still doesn't register to me now that I was, third or 3-time first team all CAA, player of the week against Virginia Tech, all these accolades stuff. I really haven't had time to sit there and think about it. It was really a day-by-day process where each and every single day you just try to get better. You progress so far that you don't really realize how far you've come. It means a tremendous amount to me. And like I said before, it means a lot to myself, my friends, my family, and also the community. I was actually talking to the local media guy and told me, if that can impact just a few individuals, a few kids growing up, I think it's a, job accomplished, just to show that it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you're from Covington, just, small town, God's country, USA, that you can still go out there and make a global impact. So I think that really means a lot to me.
We hear about guys always being picked up to start out in the practice squads, and all it takes is that chance. So how do you make sure you keep that in your mind also, to not let all the pressure be about just the draft itself?
Like I said, I'm just expecting to get my foot in the door somewhere. That's what I'm focused on.
That is awesome, man. We will certainly be rooting you on. You've done a lot. You did a lot at Covington, done a lot there at Richmond.
Absolutely.
We're certainly hoping to see and hear about you getting that phone call. If not, of course, as we mentioned, I'm sure we'll see you somewhere in somebody's practice squad uniform in the weeks and the months to come. But we greatly appreciate you joining us, man, and best wishes to you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the time, Eric.